you doing today? Thank you for joining me. I'm Mario from StringThingLessons.com, and today I want to tell you about 10 things you need to know when you go to buy a ukulele. First one I want to talk to you about first is price. That's obviously the biggest thing for everybody is cost. Kind of give yourself a little leeway. So let's say you got to spend, 100, 150, $200 max, okay? That's about a good decent range for a good starter ukulele. You don't want to really buy anything that's like $50 or less, something like that, or really something kind of cheap because it won't stay in tune on you. It won't sound very good, and it's just really not worth your investment. So the ukulele does have four different sizes. Starts off with the soprano, which is the smallest one. Then it goes a little larger to the concert. Then the tenor, which is what I have here, and then the baritone. The baritone's different though. It's strung like a guitar. It still has four strings, but it plays the first guitar notes, E, A, D, G. But we don't string ukuleles that way. It's a G, C, E, A tuning. Now, this is one of the most important things I can explain to you. Size does matter when it comes to your ukulele. I have another one over here as an example. This is a concert size. This is my tenor size. Okay, see the difference in them? Now, this is the second to small one. The soprano is smaller than this one here. There's soprano, then there's the concert, then there's the tenor, and then the baritone, which is bigger than the tenor. Now, let me give you an example of what it's like. So let's say I go into the store and I want to purchase this. I go, wow, it's purple, it's cool, it's got flowers on it. I like flowers, I guess. And it's by Luna. Luna's another well-known brand. And I go, okay, that's cool. I like it. It's got electronics built in. And I look how much it is. Let's say the price tag says, 225. Okay. Well, there are some reasons why it's a little extra pricey because more than likely because it has the electronics in it. Any instrument with electronics is going to cost more. It's just how things are because you're paying for that extra ability to be able to plug in wherever you're at. Okay, so I pick this up and I go, wow, I might be interested in this. 225, a little out of my range, but I can fork out a little extra, I guess, if I really like it. So you want to sit down, play with it, and see how it feels on your hand. See how big my hand is? I can like reach across all these frets. So it's a little small for me. So most adults, a tenor is the perfect size. If you're a smaller statue, maybe around 4 foot, 4 foot 9, 5 foot, something like that, and have smaller hands, concert is a good size, I think, because it's a lot smaller radius, easier for you to get a hold of, and you don't have to grip so much a big, thick neck. But as for me, it's too small. My shoulders are cramped in. I got to play a little bit more this way to play it. It's just not comfortable. So that's a good thing to keep in mind. A soprano, by the way, which is so much smaller, the neck would be like right here, and I'd be playing it this way. Now people are like, "Oh, they're so cute, the ukulele." Yeah, but look if I try to play it, it's just too tiny. So soprano is definitely out of the question, I would say. If you want one just for fun to toy around with when we go to the beach or a park or something, it's okay. I think that's a good choice for that, but I wouldn't spend too much money on a soprano. There are brands like Kamaka, which are very popular and very expensive they can be. So Kamakas make great soprano ukuleles too. But just stick with a concert or tenor size, and I think you'll be fine. Next is the wood types. Now, there is different variations of wood, from spruce to mahogany, different types of fretboards. Um, there's ebony and there's rosewood. I prefer rosewood. That's what this looks like. Ebony tends to be a really darker wood, but it's really up to preference. So if that really doesn't matter to you or you don't really know right now, we'll just kind of just go with a wood that you think you really like looking at. As long as it's a wood, glossy finish, doesn't have to be glossy finish. Some of them come with a matte finish or a little sheen to them. So just kind of pick one that you think is okay. But remember, we're talking about price. So when you look and you see those nice ones up on top and you go, wow, those are beautiful. Well, they're up top for a reason. They're usually very expensive and they just don't want everybody playing with them, and breaking them or damaging them. So keep your eye on the lower level. That's generally where you're going to want to be for anywhere from $100 to $200 ukulele. Try to avoid ukuleles that are colorful, cute, Hello Kitty on them or The Simpsons, whatever. Those are pretty much just for fun. But to really be serious and really want to learn how to play the instrument, you got to look for more of a professional name brand. You want to inspect it, look at it. You want to take a look at it, see that there isn't, dings or nicks. Mine has been through the ages, so it has things done I've done to it over the years. But you want to look at it and make sure there isn't a bunch of nicks in the neck or in the back of the body. Is the fretboard, when you rub your fingers and hands up and down it like this, do you feel any sharp edges of the frets? You definitely don't want that because you risk cutting your hands when you're playing. And you look at the tuning keys, are they loose? Are they tight? And one of the best things to really consider is looking at down the neck. Now, I know you probably can't see, but when you look down the neck, you're looking to see how straight the neck is. And that's very important because if you see the neck doing this or kind of twisting at all anyway, definitely put it down. Because most ukuleles that are under 200, 150 do not have what's called a truss rod. And a truss rod is inside where you can adjust it because if the neck gets a little bowed, you can turn it and it'll help straighten it out. But usually the less expensive brand ukuleles don't have one. So it's best to make sure you start off with a straight neck as possible when you're buying it. Ask the store clerk for help. I'm sure they can help you. Now, what I mean by action is the height of the strings from the fretboard. How high are they away from the fretboard? Are they like really high or really close to it? That's very important too as to how it feels and how quickly you can play. If it feels really hard to play or just feels like the strings are too high, it'll be more difficult for you to play. You want a ukulele where the strings are close enough to the fretboard, but don't create buzzing. You don't want to get, you don't want anything like that at all. You want everything to be nice and clean. So to check it out, when you find a ukulele that you're happy with the color, the price, the size, the comfortability, you can go over next to see if there's any buzzing in the frets. Just go up each string. See and listen for buzzing. And if you don't hear any, great. If you start going up and you start hearing this, definitely put it down because there's a problem with the neck or there's a problem with the frets or there's a problem with the action. So put that away, move on to the next one. Now, when you decided this is the one you want, I'm happy with it. I like the neck. I like the color. I like the wood finish. I like the way it feels. The size feels comfortable. Everything seems to be good. Nothing broken or damaged. Then, when you go to purchase it, you want to first find out if it comes with a bag or case or something of that nature to protect it. Generally, 9 times out of 10 it does. But if it doesn't, you're going to have to purchase one. Definitely purchase one. It's really worth it. You need to protect it. It keeps it in great condition, and you store it when you're not playing it. You got someplace to put it. When it comes to buying online or in store, I would recommend if you can go to a store, definitely do that. Buying online, although there are many more options usually to choose from, you can't inspect the ukulele. You're kind of stuck with what they send you. Your best opportunity is to buy from a reputable place online like Sweetwater, ZZ Sounds, even Guitar Center, that you think you have the best possibility of getting at least a decent instrument when you get it home. Most of these stores do inspections of the instruments before they ship out. Some of them don't. So you're kind of rolling the dice. So if you can go to a store and look at one personally and check it out, plus you get to really feel it and hear it sound, how it sounds, do that if you definitely can. Now I have a low G string on my ukulele, and typically most ukuleles come with a high G. Um, but if you want to do additional things such as scales or soloing or want a more lower tone, then definitely a low G string. Now, low G strings do come in different varieties. They come in nylon like I have here, and they also come in wound. Now, I don't recommend a wound low G string. Um, they tend to rust. They get the oils off your fingers, and they get on the string there, and it doesn't last as long. These strings right here will outlast the low G string because I just don't recommend it. Plus, it might not feel good on your fingers if you're not used to steel wound strings. So stick with the nylon. And so one of the things I'd like to get back to now is why the low G string and what it's good for. Well, why is because you want that more bass sound. Okay? And number two, you can play scales with it. Um, this is a good example. Okay? Now with a higher end ukulele with a high G string, you can't do that because it's like bing, boom, 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 bing, because it's too high. So a good thing about the low G as well, though, is that you can play, stuff like jazz with it. See how much nicer that sounds and pretty compared to a low G. It's just what I recommend. So if you're looking for a change in your sound, or you just got a ukulele, or you've been playing with the high G forever, give it a try because I think you'll really find that the low G makes quite a bit of difference. Just don't get wound. So other than that, good luck on your search. I hope these tips help you out when you're going to buy your first ukulele or another one. So I'm Mario from stringthinglessons.com, and subscribe for more updates, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.